What's up, guys? This is Jay from COI. So today we found out that hydroxychloroquine is not working. It's a drug that Trump had pushed. He said that they had really, really great results, and he learned those great results actually from a man who claimed he worked for Stanford University, and he did a whole segment on Tucker Carlson's show. Later, it was discovered that this guy was not in any way associated with Stanford University, and the findings were false. I'll just put it that way, as one of the people that was being treated with hydroxychloroquine died and was just completely omitted in the findings of the study. So our our brightest and best went to work and tried to examine hydroxychloroquine and found out no, it doesn't. It in this case, the cure really is worse than the disease. It caused heart attacks um, and other heart complications. Did not seem to actually attack COVID as much as the other therapeutics that they've had in place were doing, which again is minimal, but and had other side effects as well, like loss of vision, um, really detrimental to like your kidneys, your parts of your lungs, things like that. So yeah, not a good drug to take for COVID. I'm glad that they rolled it out, incrementally, and we didn't go all in because then everybody who had COVID would have massive problems around this country. On top of having COVID as an issue, we would then also have a ton of people who are having heart arrhythmia and problems with their cardiovascular system and vision problems. And so thank God we didn't do that. But we're kind of doing that now. And we're not, but the governor of Georgia, Mr. Kemp, is kind of doing that. As he's decided that they're going to start reopening on Friday. Even though they didn't pass any of the phase one recommendations, which is 2 weeks of downward tick as far as new cases. Still planning on opening up as far as most retail stores and places like that. They're going to be open on Friday, and then on Monday, restaurants and theaters are going to open, and that's going to be our experimental state. We'll get to see in 2 to 3 weeks how's the cases doing. Georgia arguably is one of the most dangerous places, if not the most dangerous place in the country right now for COVID-19. Their infectious rate is 3.2, which, if you look at like New York, for instance, New York is zero point 0.8. What that essentially means is if you're at 1, a 1-to-1 ratio, that means it takes one infected person to pass it on to one person. It's the ratio, okay? Not literally. Like New York, meaning it's below that 1-to-1 ratio, and that means you're getting into a safe place. You're doing good. Uh, Georgia being 3.2 is that on average one person will give it to 3 people. And as we can tell with COVID, that doubling up, that 3 turning to 6, turning to 9, turning to 12, that rate with this virus is what is so deadly. Because people like Dr. Drew, just like a month ago, was like, well, it's bad, but it's still not killing as many people as the flu. And it ultimately, if you look a month back, and how many people are dead now? Well, 44,000, I think, here in America, were killed in 1 month by this virus. Yeah, the flu has done more numbers, and that's over 6 months. If this went unchecked, this fall, this winter, I hope it doesn't come back. I really do. But if it does, we're going to find out what 6 months of COVID will be like. But yeah, Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, has decided that it's fine for his people to be the guinea pigs. That it's more important that they reopen. And I wonder why. He has been a Trump touting Republican for quite a while and has been on that side of saying we need to open up the economy. The economy is the most important thing, using that tired old line that I used. The cure is worse than the disease. Unfortunately, in that case, it's not. Never actually addressing the heart of the problem, which is the fact that a UBI or a government payment system should have been put in place, and demanding that one get done. Instead, he would rather risk his people. I hope and pray that in 2 or 3 weeks we look back at this, and anyone who's listening to this right now will say, "You overreacted. You liberal scum. You guys just wanted to kill our economy. You overreacted." I hope so. I really do. Because the people who live in Georgia, I feel horrible for a lot of you. Because there's a ton of people who I've just talked to in the last day or two that do not share this this eagerness to test whether or not COVID is a worse killer than the economy right now. Places like Albany and their mayor has pushed hard against opening. Don't really care. And I think you're in a weird spot. I think we are, because we want states to have the right to do what they want, and when they do it, when they do something we don't want them to do, I think to a lot of ways you just have to sit on your hands. I'm not gonna sit here and say we should all protest against Brian Kemp. That's dumb. That's like protesting against a lady in Michigan. We want states to have their rights. We voted for these people. That's the way it falls. I do find it funny, though, that one Mr. Lindsey Graham has, in the last few days, taken to um, show issue with Brian Kemp, and he went on to criticize the governor and say he's doing too much too fast. This is not a good move for Georgia. Meanwhile, over the last week, Lindsey Graham has been tweeting, and every media interview he's done, he's went on to talk about how we just need to reopen the economy. The economy is the most important. The economy. And then when a state that shares his border decides to reopen really quick, wait, whoa. Let's not do that. I thought we were talking about Kansas or Colorado. California. Let's reopen California. Two birds, one stone. No, not Georgia. That's right by me. Funny where the loyalty lies. Honestly, I question if Brian Kemp is a Trump loyalist or just stupid. Like, I get Lindsey Graham is strategic the entire time. He never believed any of it. He believed what the scientists and the doctors said. And then when push came to shove, he's like, no, let's not do this. Namely, probably because of his own health and his political health. If this goes like it probably will in Georgia, politically, Brian Kemp is dead. His career as a politician is over. No one's going to trust him. If Albany turns out to look anything like New York, it's not going to be good. When they get to a point where we're watching Georgia and we're not watching New York anymore, and we know who to blame. And yeah, you can say, well, he had to do something. It was an experiment. He was experimenting with people's lives. And the argument he had to do something, well, he is in politics. There's quite a bit of things he can do. It's just, they're kind of socialist. We don't want to do that, right? Yeah, that's not good. A UBI is a horrible idea. Actually giving tax-paying citizens money from those taxes that they earned. That's a horrible idea. We need to make sure that we have enough money to give it to the oil companies. And Boeing and our defense contractors, they need the money, not the taxpayers. The taxpayers, we can experiment with their lives. I mean, that's what I hear. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Brian Kemp has this entire different thing plotted out in his head. If you ask me, at the moment, it looks like Stalin rushing his people into machine gun fire. It does not resemble what America is. America is smart before we are anything. Any war we've ever won, any deed we've ever done has been started with our brain, not just running into danger. And Mr. Kemp is sending a lot of people just straight into machine gun fire. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. You have a great evening.